The Trump administration has officially rescinded protections for transgender students in America. Now, this, of course, has to do with the bathroom legislation that we've seen throughout the country. Many states have decided to go against transgender individuals by not allowing them to use the bathrooms that they identify with. And so as a result, the Obama administration, toward the end of his second term, decided to create interpret Title IX protections for students to ensure that they wouldn't be discriminated against on campuses and they would be able to use the bathrooms that they identify with. Now, Trump's administration announced on Wednesday that it will no longer bar schools from discriminating against transgender students, rescinding a policy put in place by the previous administration. Congress, state legislatures, and local governments are in a position to adopt appropriate policies or laws addressing this issue. The Department of Justice remains committed to the proper interpretation and enforcement of Title IX and to its protections for all students, including L.G.B.T.Q students, from discrimination, bullying, and harassment. That was a statement from Jeff Sessions, our new Attorney General. If they genuinely cared about protecting the LGBT community, well, then they wouldn't rescind these protections for the trans community.
Okay, so you might be wondering, why is Donald Trump doing this? I remember during the campaign that he was actually okay with transgender people using bathrooms. In fact, let's go to video 3 here and let's show you Donald Trump from the campaign.
Well, look, North Carolina did something that was very strong, and they're paying a big price, and there's a lot of problems. And I heard one of the best answers I heard was from a commentator yesterday saying, leave it the way it is right now. There have been very few problems. Leave it the way it is. North Carolina, what they're going through with all of the business that's leaving and all of the strife, and that's on both sides. You leave it the way it is. There have been very few complaints the way it is.
So if Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses?
That is correct.
So the two parts of that were very clear. One is in North Carolina, the Republicans passed a law saying that we're going to get rid of the local laws allowing transgender people to use the bathroom. So he's like, just leave it alone. Don't pass that law. So he was against legislation just like this, or in his case, a ruling, executive ruling just like this. And he just told you straight as it could be in the second part. Caitlyn Jenner, I'd let her use the bathrooms. I don't care. So why flip around on that? Well, I'll tell you why. So this is very interesting. Now, I'm going to do a breakdown of voters in America between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and you will see exactly why they took this step. So you know that minorities voted overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton, who's, of course, a Democrat. For example, 89% of African Americans voted for Hillary Clinton, and you're not surprised by that. That's obviously a huge number. 66% of Latinos voted for Hillary Clinton. You know that, roughly speaking, you kind of knew that, so you're not surprised by that. Now, the U.S. population is actually 62% white. Now, so white folks are still the significant majority of the country. But what's interesting is they turn out to vote at higher rates than minorities do. So the white population in America actually is 71% of all voters in the country. So they vote disproportionately. Now, that's not all. When you look at white voters, who won that battle? Oh, Donald Trump won it in a landslide, 57-37. So far, nothing overly surprising. You kind of had a sense that Trump had won more white voters. But let's get a little bit more specific in the numbers, and you will see something very surprising. Do you know that when you take out evangelical voters, when you look at white, non-evangelical voters in America, Hillary Clinton won.
What?
She won 49-43 among white voters that were not evangelical.
Bananas.
Now, look at the evangelical vote, and this is amazing. Trump won evangelicals, white evangelicals, at an 80% clip. 80% of them voted for Donald Trump. And now, finally, the most amazing fact. What was voter turnout among white evangelicals? A stunning 85%. That is a giant, giant number. So the reason that Donald Trump is now attacking transgender people in America is because that is what white evangelical voters want. And they are almost the sole reason that he won. They turned out in giant numbers, and they overwhelmingly voted for him. So no matter what he thinks of Caitlyn Jenner or what he thinks of LGBTQ community or transgender people, One of his analysts came to him and said, hey, Donald, you're sitting in the seat that you're sitting in because these folks don't like transgender people. Make sure you pass laws against transgender people. And he said, well, they put me here, so that's what I'm going to do. Support independent media and get the whole Young Turks 2-hour show and other network shows all ad-free. TYTnetwork.com/join. Come join us today.